our growth as students, is it not expected for the faculties to be able to like help students in these positions? Like, okay, if you can have at least 20
Yeah,
slots for each class
yeah,
internship, maybe you have to be merited maybe by the first 20 students. Is it not better that way?
yeah. I totally agree with you on that. But then you know that a lot of factors comes into play. A lot of factors in the sense that talking about the schools in the east, schools I mean universities or law
Yeah,
faculty, you cannot use it to compare law faculties in the west.
that's
That's number one thing. And most of the lecturers here, they are good. They are really, really sound. But then this career and internship stuff is not something they are really aware of or
into.
into in a way. But if you look at the school like OAU, UI, these are schools that they are aware of these things. As a matter of fact, they create clubs like tax club, all these debate, like they get to push out their
Their
students
students.
in a way that they will be positioned to go for any internships they want. And believe you me, if you look at the statistics, okay, just like when I was doing my internship in Banwa and Igodalo, the top tier
Yeah,
firm,
right.
and then out of 10 persons that were interns there, were like just, I think it was just two. The other girl was from UNN, I was from UNIZI.
Two from the east.
East. Others were from the West. Others were from UI, University of Lagos. So if you look at it, they are more sensitized over there
On
than
those
here.
issues.
Yes, on those. And they create space. During holiday, you can be allowed to go for those stuffs. And you see, there are some competitions they'll be hosting. Those top firms comes and sponsor
Sponsor this
the
school.
competitions there and get the best that presented well and offer them internship slots and other scholarship. So I believe number one thing is our lecturers being aware, basically. And the nature of practice here is majorly litigation. So you don't really you're on your own.
On your own.
You're on your own. So it's just like everybody's on their own. If you want to develop yourself, you have to
Yeah.
take it upon yourself.
Personal
There is
responsibility.
no structure. So which is one thing that just like you've asked me, I believe if we're able to channel our observance or let's say these things and channel it to the appropriate authorities and bring it to their notice, I believe it's something that they would be willing to
Yeah.
change or they would be willing to adopt such ideas. Because at the end of the day, the main purpose is get towards the student for the betterment
For the better, all
of the
round
student.
betterment.
There's what we call labor market. Once we are done our
You
call
lost
to bar,
school.
everybody, you're in the labor
Everybody's
market.
out.
Yes. And the thing is, what is distinguishing you from another
Your
person?
preparedness.
So everybody is coming out, you are coming out, people are coming out to first class, people are coming out to what? But there is this thing that they are looking out for. What is that distinguishing factor? And this is just like that's what we've discussed about. What and what were you able to do as an undergraduate? How many internships were you able to do? What competitions were you able to go for to add to yourself to show that okay, I'm somebody that can work under pressure. At the end of the day, these are things that will give you the job. These are things that will get you to
Give
the
you an
door of
edge.
yes, of interview in any firm. So I believe the best way to go about it is number one, just like I've established, awareness. Most of our lecturers are not aware. If we're able to sensitize them, write them through the appropriate authorities, and then bring it to their notice, if the dean with the letterhead writes to any firm, I don't think any firm will turn it down, coming from a professor of law,
Yes, of
and
course.
then with the letterhead, any firm would
We would
actually
love to.
would have loved to give a sort of approval to any request. So the best thing I think we should do is to tell it to them and let them be aware and see their
And
approach.
I think
Yeah.
now I would like to have get an advice from you. You said as a law student, you need to have the academic side on your hand, and on the other side, the moting competitions. And like, how can someone balance this thing as a student?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. This is very important and a very good question, I must say. Now, in all these things, we should bear in mind that the major thing that sort of made us to come to this faculty is actually to read and
Academics.
academic wise. And then you owe yourself a very huge responsibility of, at the end of the day, graduating with a very good grade and a very good result. Because, I mean, if you don't have a very good result, it's going to deny you the opportunities of even studying your masters. Because most universities now don't take 2-2 for masters.
Master
And you won't have other advantages that
advantages.
comes with having a good result. So I would always advise to, as much as it's good to engage in extracurricular activities, also don't neglect your academics. And then in order to make both or handle both simultaneously, that's where balance comes in. Now, what is balance? Balance is typically managing your time. And how do you manage your time? It's just by aligning your priorities.
Yeah, just having a list.
Yes, you have to sort of come out and outline them. Okay, this is what I want to engage in. I'm dedicating so and so hours and all that. So you have to learn the art of time management. Now, talking from experience, basically, I think in my year one, I read. The only thing I did was reading.
Read your
Now,
books.
but when I entered year two, I said, no, there is need for me to develop myself career-wise. With the help of my seniors then that I was able to listen to and talk with, they gave me a lot of advice. So I was able to manage my time in year two. I had to split my time. Okay, look at what I'll be doing. And every day I made it a point of this to be reading at most 5 hours. And then you have to be consistent.
Consistent.
So if there's no way you'll be reading at most 3 hours every day that you won't meet up. If you are consistent enough, even if your grades come out, even if you don't make it, believe me, you won't go below a B.
Five
If you
hours
are
every day.
is more. I'm just bringing it down to three because not
I know.
everybody that can read
Of
up to that
course.
hour. So, but if you are consistent and meticulous enough, fine, you'll be able to achieve a lot. Now, in my 200 level, I was able to make a very good CGPA
While balancing
while
the two
balancing
things.
both exactly. So it's a matter of balancing and then striking your priority. Know when to read. Know during the exam, once it's like a month or 2 weeks exam, I'm done with extracurricular activities for the semester. I've locked up. I'm now focusing fully on my academics.
Preparing to the exam.
Exactly. So even if I get to miss, there are sometimes, yes, there are cases that warrant you to leave your lecture hall. Have friends that jot, have friends that record so
So
that
you won't miss
you
out
won't miss
totally.
out on anything. So these are the things that helped me to be able to strike that balance.
Balance.
So the grades is actually important, is highly, highly important. So, but you have to strike a balance. You cannot say, okay, let me focus more on this and leave this. No. That's why people talk about triangular
Yeah.
students. Yeah. People say from the hostel to the library, from the
Library.
library to the classroom, and all that. So if you're able to make it at least a square, let's say from the hostel to your library, or let's say from the hostel to the classroom, from the classroom to your chamber activities or meeting and all that, then you go back
Go back.
again, probably the church or any other thing you want to do. And then you are able to follow it well. You have
As
to be
Amanda
meticulous.
says, a 360 law
Yeah,
students.
you have to sort of have that plan. You have to be somebody that plans well, basically. So just like me now, I've already calculated the exam. Okay, look at when I'm
By
to
this
stop.
time.
Look
Yeah.
at, and follow it strictly. It's not like a rocket
Time.
science. This is something that is practicable.
Intentional.
Yes, you have to be deliberate and intentional. So time management is key. Striking balance is also very, 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 very important. And another thing again is you have to cultivate the habit of adaptability. I can stay here and I'm reading because you don't have time. You know that your time is
The time is,
divided.
of course.
So in order for you to catch up with other people, you have
Any
to,
few time you
yes,
have
any
just
few time you can, oh, I'm free now. Okay, what's up? Have I been able, let me go through the tax class and see what I can be able to put 1 or 2 sections in my head. You flip through the book, okay, yeah, yeah, fine. Something, you have a meeting the next 30, just like you told me about this.
yeah.
I had to make the sort of arrangement or preparation in my head. So time management is key and then aligning your priorities.
So thank you for being here. I just want to have this final question. It's not
Okay.
really a question, it's an appeal for an advice now. For any law students, any intending law students, someone leaving secondary school or 100 level law student, or anyone that is in a kind of quagmire at this point, like they don't know the left from the right, what would be your advice to them?
Okay, my advice to the person, it depends. If somebody is confused as to trying to carve a niche for him or herself in the legal profession. Let's say what I get, judging from people that have approached me over time, they get to tell me about, oh, I'm confused. I don't like litigation.
Litigation,
I prefer corporate
corporate practice,
practice. I know that, okay, I'm interested in IP. I don't like labor. I'm interested in, let's
choosing
say,
particular sectors.
banking. Okay, I feel like I'll be able to be a company secretary. How do I go about it? I don't like this wig and gown stuff you guys are doing. So these are things that people meet me on a daily, on a reg to ask me about. Or let's say, how can I maintain my GP? I'm not getting A's, I'm reading. So in all this, what I keep on telling people is, I didn't know yourself first. Do you get? Know yourself in the sense you have to know what works for you at every point in time. Now, in doing that, I mean, you solved 50% of the problem.
Now you know
Now,
what you
you know
want.
what you want. Now, another thing is the law profession is a very dynamic profession. That's what people don't understand. Dynamic in the sense that that area you feel you don't want, you don't like, you might have an issue that will come up for you to resolve or talk about when you are working. So I tell you, don't start restricting yourself
Yeah, I
to
don't think
yeah,
we are there yet.
exactly, it's not good. That's what that's the impression I try to bring out from their mind. Yes, you like tech. Yes,
You
there's
can further
yeah,
in
you
it.
can further in it, but then don't start now to restrict your mind. You should be able to soak every information you need you get as a law student currently, because you don't know the knowledge that would spoil you. I mean, tomorrow you might be interested in going for a scholarship exam, and then they're asking you law questions from various
Various
areas of law.
sectors. Yeah.
You cannot, because you don't like contract or you don't like
And
banking,
then you
and
lose
you
it.
now lose the opportunity. So be open-minded at this point. Time will come when you would say, okay, I feel I have to carve a niche in taxation. I feel I have to carve a niche in
Let
energy
me
law.
work on
Exactly.
this.
But as for now, open up your mind. Open up your mind to the extent that you're able to read and assimilate as much
As much as you
information
can.
and as much knowledge as you can. That's what I keep on telling them, basically. Now, another thing also I normally tell them is be intentional. If you like litigation, there's no way you should not be reading law reports at every point in time. If you say you like tech, fine and good. The only thing I can do, if I have the time to mentor you, I will go and get a lot of books or a lot of material from all these top firms on tech. I will send to you, read, let's talk. So you, in a way,
Find way to have
find
the
a way to
knowledge.
have the knowledge and build yourself. This law we're studying is like your own. The least that the lecturers can do for you is come and teach you. The rest
It's your
is your
effort.
personal, intentional, developmental effort towards that your goal. Take for instance, somebody that wants to sort of make all A's. The lecturer will, nobody will tell you not to. You have to come
You
for
have to come for
classes now. You
classes,
have to
read
make
your
your notes.
books.
You have to read your book day in, day out. But the lecturer has done his or her work. I don't know if you
You
understand.
understand
If
what you're
tomorrow you
saying?
want to be a senior advocate of Nigeria, nobody should tell you that you should not be coming for practice. You should not be engaged in mooting activities. You should not one day sue on matters that you feel are worth bringing to the notice of the court for. So these are things you have to be intentional about, and at the end of the day, you get to a sort of answer those questions bugging your mind. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
my pleasure. My
Thank you very
pleasure.
much
My
for having
pleasure.
me.
It's really nice. It's a
God
wonderful
bless
initiative. Thank you too for having me here.
Thank you very much.